Greetings, greetings, greetings. Diane Thomas, Certified High Performance Coach, here again for another installment of the Why New Year's Resolutions Tend to Fail. They don't work, right? Um, and we are here for day three in our series, as well as uh, we are on day four of the Kwanzaa celebration. Kwanzaa is a tradition, African American tradition, that was founded back in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga. And the development of these principles are to be lived out, in my estimation, throughout the year, not just at the end of the year. And so the principle for today is Ujamaa, and that is for folks who are really working towards economic well-being. So it's collective work. It's a cooperative economics frame that we think about when we're talking about how we work with our people together to take the best of what we have and bringing it together and making money and being financially sustainable. So Jama is cooperative economics, and this is where we are today as well, because a lot of what we're talking about has to do with your livelihood, right? As we're setting your resolutions, as you are working to develop something that is workable for you for the next year, right? So, as we've been talking about, this is the pre work to the Work for Next Week's challenge, and that is the New Year, New View challenge. It's going to run from January 2nd to January 8th, and we are going to talk a little bit more at the end of this series about what this is all about and why you need to be a part of it. But rest assured, it's really a way for you to look at your preparations, right, as you are moving into the new year. I want you to be successful. I'm a certified high performance coach, and my work, my job is to push my clients to higher levels of achievement, higher levels of performance. Because we all are worth it. We know in the spaces that we're in now, we're being called on to do a lot more. But we also need to make sure that we're keeping ourselves centered and keeping our relationships balanced. And that's what certified high performance coaching helps you do in your work, in your life. All right. So, but getting back to our New Year's resolutions series, today we're going to talk about another one of the reasons why New Year's resolutions tend not to work, and largely because of lack of planning. All right, so we talked our first installment about not the need to be more clear. Second installment was really in terms of thinking about how you were going to set goals that were smart and achievable for you, realistic for you. And now we're going to talk about lack of planning. So once you know what your goals are, you know that they are realistic goals for you, then we need to look at how you're going to make sure that you've set up a plan so that you're able to execute those goals. Because just saying what they are and saying why they're important really isn't going to help you get them done. You need to have a plan. A lot of people don't like planning, they like to wing it. Some of us, that is not the way to get to the highest levels of achievement. You've got to do the work of planning. So, with your SMART goals in hand and the image or the feeling that you have, because the visualization piece is really important. I hadn't talked a lot about that, but you've actually got to visualize yourself having achieved, having been successful at the end of the year or whatever the period of time is within the next year that you want to achieve that goal. It's really a lot of mindset is based upon what you can see. All right, you see with your mind's eye. So understanding that that is also a big part of this and keeping that goal in mind, decide what those actions are that you're going to need to take. What are those actions specifically? Breaking them down into tasks, and then putting those tasks in some sort of format so that you are able to see what they are on a regular basis and measure your ability. We talked about measurability a little bit yesterday, right, in terms of the SMART goals. And scheduling them on your calendar to make sure, and that's the time bound piece of this, right? So scheduling those, all those little tasks that end up being a part of the big goal that you have the time bound piece for, but you also have to time out and schedule out the tasks that are involved in that thing as well. So give yourself a break, right? By building these tasks into your overall life of things you need to do, as well as recognizing that there may be adjustments along the way that you need to make. So you may not meet a specific task within us, but on a specific day or a specific time of that day. Maybe thinking through that task and realizing, do I really think I'm going to get this done in 3 days, or maybe I need 4 days. And that's all right. You giving grace for all the other things that you have going on, maybe that week, but really working in a realistic mindset that, yes, I may actually need 5 days as opposed to 3 days to get this particular task done. But you're building in those adjustments or those considerations or even challenges that may come up because life happens in between us making our plans, right? And I know that's a lot of reasons sometimes why people choose they don't want to plan because they're like, well, something always happens and I end up not getting this thing accomplished. That is not the reason to not do it. All right, you've got to plan regardless, but you're going to break those tasks down in manageable pieces, set them on your calendar, put them in your timer again, on your phone, an alarm on your phone. As simple as, and this is what I tell my high performance clients when we talk about productivity and they talk about not being able to get as much done during the day as they want to. I'm like, well, did you block time out? You need choose a specific time of day to get X, Y, Z done, and block that time out on your calendar. Set that on your Fitbit, on your phone, as an alarm, so that it reminds you that you need to get this thing done. Do it consistently. Go on ahead and plan it out. 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 9 months ahead. Through that period so that you will make sure that there's the consistency because that piece is very much a part of planning, right? You got to be consistently following up with yourself and following up, checking in with yourself and making sure that you are still on the path that you say that you want to be because you need to have a strategy, some stopgap measures in place to make sure that you are going to not disappoint yourself and that you're able to respond to any eventualities that may come up because as I mentioned, it's life and things happen. All right. So keep that in mind as you wrap up here that you want to make a plan. If you need to use pen and paper to set that up, sometimes I just print free calendars off the internet. If you use a project management planning software or something free like Trello, or you may be a version of Asana if you're a little more sophisticated, or even something simple like a Google Doc or Google scheduling, something that is your calendar, Google Calendar, something that's going to keep you accountable. You've got to prepare and set yourself up for success, and that's the way that you do that. All right. So in the meantime, go back and look at the other videos if you hadn't. If this is the first time you're catching me today, take a look at the link down below this video and make sure that you register for the challenge, the New Year, New View challenge coming up. Next week, we are going to continue to expound on some of these themes as well as bring up some other challenges that may be a part and parcel for you, making sure that you have a very successful year and that you're able to realize all the wonderful goals that you've set for yourself. All right. So, in the meantime, please stay safe, be well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Recording stopped.